All right, everyone, we've got an urgent security briefing today. A really major vulnerability has just been disclosed. And honestly, if you're running a self-hosted database, you need to stop what you're doing and pay close attention.
So let's just jump right in with the most critical question. Because for a massive number of organizations out there, the answer, unfortunately, could be yes. We are talking about a silent, unauthenticated data leak that could literally be happening in your systems as we speak.
So this new vulnerability has been disclosed, and its name alone should send a shiver down your spine. MongoBleed. Yes, that is a deliberate echo of the infamous HeartBleed bug, and it is for a very, very good reason. Just like its namesake, it lets an attacker read a server's raw memory, exposing the most sensitive data you can possibly imagine.
Okay, so let's break down exactly what we are dealing with here. This is the MongoBleed alert, and it's being officially tracked as CVE-2025-14847, and it's been classified as high severity for reasons that are about to become crystal clear. So the single most crucial point is right here in this definition. This is an unauthenticated information leak. What does that mean? It means an attacker doesn't need a username, they don't need a password, they don't need any special access at all. All they need is to be able to reach your database server over the network. That's it.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this actually happens on a technical level. It all comes down to a tiny, subtle flaw in how the server handles compressed messages. Here's how the attack goes down. Just think of it like a confused librarian. The attacker sends a very cleverly malformed compressed request to the database. The server tries to decompress this request, but it's specifically designed to trip up the server's logic. So the server gets confused. And in its confusion, it sends back a reply that contains not just the data it's supposed to, but also random chunks of its active memory. It's like that librarian accidentally handing you someone else's private notes along with the book you asked for. And what's in that server memory? Oh, just things like user credentials, private keys, you name it. And the scariest part of all, this whole exchange happens before the server even thinks about asking for a password.
So the big question is, how widespread is this? How big of a problem are we really talking about? Well, the numbers that security researchers are reporting are genuinely alarming. We're talking about a massive potential attack surface. Get this. According to data from the research team at Wiz, a staggering 42% of all the cloud environments they scanned have at least one vulnerable instance of MongoDB. Let that sink in for a second. That's nearly half of cloud infrastructures that could have a ticking time bomb just waiting inside. And just look at the direct public exposure. The team at Census, who are constantly scanning the public internet, found about 87,000 potentially vulnerable MongoDB servers, just sitting out there, reachable from anywhere in the world. Every single one of them is a potential target.
And please, do not think for a second that this is some theoretical problem. A working exploit was made public on December 26th, and security firms immediately started reporting that attackers were already using it. The threat is active. It is happening right now.
Okay, this brings us to the most important question for anyone out there running MongoDB. Are you affected? This is the part where you need to go check your own infrastructure. So take a close look at this table. The vulnerability affects a massive range of versions, from the 4.4 series all the way up to the recent 8.2 release. And this is so crucial. It also hits all those older end-of-life versions, the ones that are not going to get a patch. So if you see your version number anywhere on this list, you have to assume you are at risk. Now, there is a little bit of good news. If you're using MongoDB's fully managed cloud service, Atlas, you're safe. You can breathe a sigh of relief. They've already rolled out patches across their entire system. This vulnerability is really a critical issue for anyone running their own self-hosted instances of MongoDB.
Okay, so let's talk solutions. If you've identified a vulnerable server in your environment, here are the clear, actionable steps you absolutely need to take, like right now, to protect your data.
Do not wait. I can't stress this enough. The single most effective and important thing you can do is upgrade to a patched version. MongoDB has already released the fixes. You need to be moving to a version like 8.2.3, 8.0.17, or whatever the latest available patch version is in your specific server series.
Look, we all know that patching right this second isn't always possible. So if you can't, you still have options. First, you can disable the zlib compressor in your network settings. That basically removes the vulnerable piece of code from the equation. Second, and this is a critical best practice anyway, lock down your network access with a firewall. Your database should never, ever be exposed to the open internet. Third, while you prepare to do the upgrade, watch your logs like a hawk for any unusual activity. And finally, if you're on one of those old unsupported versions, you have to start planning that upgrade. It's the only real long-term fix you have. So,
The crucial takeaway here isn't just about this one vulnerability, MongoBleed. It's a really powerful reminder that security is a continuous process. It's never done. We patch one hole, and you can bet that attackers are already looking for the next one. This whole incident just underscores the absolute necessity of defense in depth, patching quickly, and minimizing your public attack surface. The real question is, what are you doing to prepare for the next critical vulnerability?